So we did manage to get together today to try out a comparison video between the Sony A7IV and
Canon R6.
the Canon R6.
Yes, the Canon R6.
I'm really interested in trying out these two cameras up against one another, especially because I have been interested in buying an R6. My main interest is to see if there is any difference between a 33 megapixel sensor and a
20.1.
20.1 megapixel. What we're going to do today is we're going to use the same lens. We're going to use a
Sigma 50 1.4.
and that's a Canon EF mount lens. I'm going to use my MC11 adapter from Sigma. That is an EF to FE adapter, and he is going to use
The EF to RF adapter.
yeah. So that's what we're going to try and do today to see if we can see any difference between the two cameras. And by the way, this is
Thomas.
Fugle.
Yes.
So this is going to be a really scientific test. No, it's not. We're going to try and photograph this flower decoration thing just to see how the megapixel is or looks when we zoom in, if there is any difference. And we're going to use the same kind of settings on both cameras, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's what we're going to try to do. So now we got it.
I think we got it.
Let's put it into the computer and see what we got.
That's a big zoom. Okay, so that is 100. Okay. Now we're good. Okay, so
Yeah, I think the focus is good on
Yeah.
these.
Okay, so you see, you get closer, detail-wise.
But detail-wise, I think in this specific shot, I think actually the R6 is more detailed.
No, it's more detail here. I think the Sony is more smooth background here, though.
So I think just by looking at it when not zoomed in, I don't think you could tell any difference between the Sony camera and the Canon camera. Maybe it's a little bit more detailed in the Sony camera, but only Pixel-peeping would know or see any difference. So I don't think there's quite that much difference between the 33 megapixels in the Sony camera and the 20.1 in the R6, at least in this image.
Yeah, but I think I like the Sony a little bit better.
That's from a Canon user.
This is all before post processing, though.
I don't see much difference.
No, it's the contrast that pops. I think it's a little bit more faded.
Yeah, but that you can change that in
Yeah.
editing, so that doesn't matter
No.
at all.
The colors, I guess, they are
Looks
looks
pretty.
darker on the Canon and brighter, and yeah.
Yeah, but that you can also change that in the editing
Very
process. So, but when it comes to details and zooming in and looking at the pixels, just
Yeah, I don't think you get a little bit closer, but
yeah, you can't see that much difference.
No.
There's not much difference between the Sony A7IV and the Canon R6 when it comes to photography. Now, we haven't done any comparison when it comes to video, but when it comes to photography, both cameras look pretty much the same.
yeah. Let's check out the underexposed one then.
Yeah, so now you have the correct no, what did you do now?
No, I corrected the exposure in Lightroom by
Yeah,
two
on
stops.
on both
Yeah, on
photos.
both photos.
Yeah.
But you can see that, like,
Yeah, there's a lot more grain or bigger grain. I don't know if it's more zoomed in though.
yeah, it's more
But the grain on the Sony camera is more present than on the R6.
yeah,
I think.
I think so too. Yeah, yeah, it was a huge difference.
Yeah.
I think
The R6 has a benefit from lower megapixel sensor when it comes to noise, and the Sony has a benefit of a higher megapixel when it comes to details. But the difference is tiny. So conclusion wise, when it comes to comparison between these two cameras, I think there is a difference between the megapixels when it comes to details. There is a little bit more detail when it comes to Sony A7IV over the R6, and noise, the R6 has a little bit less busy noise than the A7 IV. No matter what camera you choose, you get a good camera even if you choose the A7 IV or the R6. Or do you disagree?
Yeah, what camera do you prefer to try them out and see how they feel?
If you're new to cameras, doesn't matter what kind of camera system you use or choose. When it comes to the quality of these two cameras, the A7 IV and the R6, not much difference at all. Anyway, that's the video for today. Thank you to Thomas for coming and supplying us with an R6 so we could do this scientific test. And where can people find you, Thomas?
They can find me on Instagram, I think. Yeah.
I'll link it down below.
Yeah, link it down below.
That's it. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.